What's going on, YouTube? It's your man Damien. Today, I'm going to be discussing with all of you 3 steps to overcoming rejection. Before I get into that, I first want to, as always, thank all of my existing subscribers. Thank you all for the continued support. And thank you if this is your first time checking out my content or my channel. Thank you for tuning in. My intention with making these videos is to share my experiences through my own self-growth journey in hopes that I can help at least one of you. We're in this life together. We might as well share experiences and help each other grow. All right. Getting into the overcoming of rejection. First and foremost, I want to say rejection across the board is not easy. It sucks. It fucking sucks. I'm saying it right now. And the other unfortunate reality is, if you are human, you have faced rejection. None of us are immune to it. It can come in our personal life. It can come in our professional life. It could come when we expect it. It can also come when we least expect it. Regardless of when it comes into our life, it always sucks. It brings us down. It's a little demotivating for life, personally or professionally. It's just a shitty feeling. You know, nobody likes it. My 3 steps that I'm going to give you all today will work with any form of rejection. The only caveat to these 3 steps is the time spent in each one may vary depending on the severity of the rejection. What I mean by that is, if you applied for a job and you didn't get the job, it sucks. That form of rejection sucks, but it's not severe. As severe as you've been working at a company for 10 years and they decided to let you go. That form of rejection, of you being chosen to not keep your job, is much more severe. And the same thing goes with relationships. You go on your first date, it goes really well, but then they ghost you or something. That form of rejection, it sucks. But it's not as severe as if you are in a prolonged 10-year relationship and that your spouse or your partner decides to say, I'm done. That level of rejection would be very severe. But these 3 steps will help guide you out of that rejection and back on track with your life if you follow them. But like I said, depending on the severity of rejection, there might be some more time spent at each of the steps to get through it. The first step, I'm going to outline all 3 and then I'm going to go into each one. The first step is embrace the feels. Embrace the suck. Rejection sucks, you got to embrace it. You got to embrace the feels, you got to feel it. The second one is to remind yourself that even though this rejection has happened, remind yourself, pull yourself back to your affirmations, your faith, and remind yourself that the universe or whatever you believe in always has your back. And finally, the third step is moving on, moving forward, letting go of the rejection and continuing on with your life. So let's dig into these, because this is, like I said, nobody is immune to rejection. We all have experienced it, will experience it. Whether we're aware of it or not, rejection comes at us from all areas of life. The first step, digging into it, feel the feels. Rejection sucks, like I said. There's no way to say it. There's no other way to say it. It sucks, no matter how severe, how small or large the rejection is, it sucks. And one of the biggest things that when you're working through these steps, and especially this first one, is you really have to embrace that suck. You have to feel through the rejection. My personal recommendation is reach out to somebody close to you, talk about it, vent about it, cry, let it out. Let the emotions flow through you. If you, like me, many men, masculinity, machismo, especially in the Spanish culture, I may not feel very comfortable crying around other people. I'm lucky to have my spouse, but outside of that, not very many people. If you're like me in that case, or like many men out here, another option is be your own best friend. Give yourself an embrace and allow yourself to cry on your own shoulder. But you need to let the feelings out. If you hold on to the feelings, it is only going to prolong this journey of moving on. One other thing that you want to avoid when stepping into this first one of feeling what you need to feel is don't try to avoid and don't try to numb. Many of us are so quick to avoid those uncomfortable feelings. It's easier just to smoke a little weed, drink a little drink, numb out the feelings, or go do some pleasurable activity to make us forget about it. In essence, all we're doing is avoiding it and trying to numb out those feelings. What that's going to do is also, it's just going to prolong this process. It's not going to make it easier, and it's not going to make it better. You are just prolonging the inevitable, and if anything, it's going to start eating at you inside. We all have egos. The goal in life is to live with them. They not avoid them. Don't work against them. Find that companionship. Feel what you need to feel. Listen to your inner self, or your inner child, whatever you want to call it. Allow the sadness to flow and move forward. The quickest and easiest way to really lean into this process is being honest with yourself, looking in the mirror and saying, this sucks, and allowing yourself to feel the feelings. You are human. You are allowed to cry. You are allowed to be sad. Embrace that part of you and allow yourself to feel. Once you get out of this first step, you feel the feels, you're able to acknowledge the suck, the sadness that comes with rejection. You've gotten it out of your system. You step into reminding yourself that the universe, or whatever you believe in, has your best interests at heart. This is where I'm going to put my other video of faith greater than fear and affirmations. I'm going to put those two videos in the description, but this is where you really have to tap into that mindset and that belief that your faith is greater than your fear. Rejection quickly breeds a lot of shame, insecurity, and fear. And when we get rejected, it's so easy to default to that fear, especially thinking of relationships. You may have been seeing this person for a few dates, it's going well, and then out of nowhere they ghost you. That sucks. And then that might tap into your deep insecurities and self-worth and make you feel unlovable and make you afraid that there's nobody out there for you. But I'm here to tell you that is not true. You have to remind yourself that the universe always has your best intentions at heart, and have faith in that being true. This person may have not been the person that was meant for what you're looking for, just like you were not meant for them and what they were looking for, and that's okay. Rejection is not meant to be personal, so don't make it personal. Do not tie rejection to your self-worth or your self-value. Do your best to not do that. It is so easy to feel this rejection, get rejected, feel the rejection, and say, I identify with it. I didn't get this job, or I got fired from my job, or I lost my job. I'm a failure. This rejection seeds into my identity as a failure. I keep going on dates, it never works out. I keep getting ghosted. I sleep with this other person, and right afterwards, they ghost me. Seeds into that deep insecurity of never being lovable or not being enough or having some body issues. Separate. They do not belong together. You have to separate them. Rejection is not personal. Don't make it personal. Tune back to your faith being greater than your fear, and fall back on your affirmations. If your affirmations are heavily seated into career development, hey, you didn't get that job, or you got let go of a job, tap back into your affirmations, have faith in it. That new job is coming for me, that next job, that promotion, whatever it is, it's on its way to me. This one wasn't meant to be, but that's because this one wasn't right for what you're looking for. And same in personal. I'm using these two examples because these are the two most common. Professional, with career, and then personal with finding love, if you will. In the personal realm, if that doesn't work out with that person, no matter if it's one date, 1 year, 5 years, you have to tap back into your faith and say, hey, the universe has my best interests at heart. The universe has your best interests at heart. Faith greater than fear. Remember that. Tap back into your affirmations. Remind yourself that life is happening for you. This is all meant to happen, to put you in the next space to become that better version of yourself. In the moment of rejection or any of the lower frequency emotions, it is really hard to believe that. It's hard to hold on to faith. I get it. I'm human. I have been rejected. I have rejected. And regardless of how, it sucks. It sucks. And all the low frequency emotions suck. But they are part of the human experience and we have to embrace them. Don't make them personal. Rejection is not meant to be personal. Your self-worth and your self-value is independent of the rejection that you faced. Separate them because they do not belong together. Finally, once you have felt the feels, you have reestablished that faith and that foundation to stand on with your affirmations. Final step is moving on and letting go. Professionally, if you lost your job, layoffs are going on crazy. Know that that wasn't meant for your future self. Now it's time to let it go. In your personal life, if you went on a few dates and it didn't work out with this person, it's time to move on and let it go. One of the easiest ways to do this is to rid the reminders of that rejection. If you lost your job, maybe it's time to throw away those plushies that have the job on it. If you were ghosted or broken up with, maybe it's time to delete that text thread or that app message. Move on. If you had a lot of photos with that person, I'm not saying delete them. Back them up somewhere so they're not right in front of your face as a constant reminder of what you had. Because one of the worst things you can do when facing rejections is sit in it for prolonged periods of time. When you sit in rejection and all you do is mope in it and lay in it, you are only preventing yourself from living your life. The longer you stay in the rejection, the more of your life you are wasting. It's a sad reality for a lot of people that I've seen that have gotten rejected, especially when, again, somebody that's 10 years in their career and they get laid off, or somebody in a 10-year relationship and they get divorced or broken up with, and then they sit in it and now that becomes part of their identity and the rest of their life is miserable. You don't want to let that happen. You want to move on. This is your one opportunity, your one experience through this body in this life right now. Live your life. Move forward from the rejection. Let it go and move on. Rid the reminders and move forward. Stay in it a healthy amount of time that feels right for you, but don't live in it. That's the difference. Feel the feels. Feel it for as much as you need to. Don't avoid it. Feel what you got to feel. Allow the sadness to flow. Allow the rejection to flow. Restabilize yourself with your faith and your affirmations. Trust that the universe or whatever you believe in has your best interests at heart. And then move on and let it go. Start ridding the reminders of what that rejection was. If it was a relationship, like I said, back up those photos, those videos to the cloud so they're not just right in front of your face. When rejection is, the reminders are right in front of your face, it's pretty hard to move forward, right? So rid the reminders so that you can move on. Live your life, embrace your life. The caveat to these steps is, depending on the severity of the rejection, you may have to jump back and forth between a few of the steps. The end goal being you move on and you let go. But for example, say you were ghosted by this person, you were able to get to the move on and let go stage, but then they texted you back and you fell back into it and then you got rejected again. Go through the steps again. There is no amount of times that you need to go through these. And sometimes you may think you're ready to move on and let go, but then you realize you still got some pent up emotions that you got to feel and release. Move back to step 1. Allow yourself to feel. Then to step 2, restabilize, reestablish the faith. And finally, try again, move on and let go. Repeat as many times as you need to with the intention and the goal of moving on with your life. This is your life. Don't live in the low frequency emotions like rejection. Find a way to let them go and move forward. The other caveat to all of this is sometimes when we face rejection, we become afraid of doing the thing that brought on that rejection. I got rejected by all these different people when I tried dating, so I'm just going to give up. I rejected all these jobs, so I'm just going to settle for this job that sucks. Don't stop living because of the fear of rejection. This goes back to that faith greater than fear. Reestablish that faith. Keep living, keep trying, keep moving forward. This is your life, your one life with this body. This is your one experience with this body. Live it to the fullest. Don't live in the rejection. We are all in this together. We all have faced rejection. Let's help each other get out of it. I hope I have helped you through this content. Comment, let me know if you've been able to move through it. Let me know any pointers or anything that you think worked maybe a little better. And just know that whatever you are facing, if you have faced rejection, just know that that area of rejection that you have faced was not meant for you, and that next thing is. The universe has your back. Remember that, tap into that, foundationalize that belief. The universe always has your best interests at heart. If this relationship didn't work out, if this job didn't work out, remind yourself that there is a reason why the universe is pushing you out of that situation, because it is opening doors to a newer, better for you situation. Have faith and just know that I am here for you all. I believe in you. You can make it through this chapter. And just like everything else, when it comes to growth and moving forward, continuous, consistent, conscious effort. Put in the work to heal, to feel, and to move on. Thank you all so much for tuning into this video. I hope it was helpful. I had some personal things happen in my life, and I think it was appropriate for me to make this video, not only to help myself, but to also share what I've been doing to help me move through some rejection. So I really appreciate all of your support. Thank you for tuning in. And until next week, stay safe, keep growing. Have a good one, y'all.